In this video, we are going to review the VETANYA Alligator High Step e-bike. We are going to unbox, assemble, go over the controls, test the acceleration, max speed, and brakes, and review the e-bike. The Alligator has a 750 watt rear hub motor with a max speed of 28 miles per hour or 45 kilometers per hour. Thumb throttle, 48 volt, 20 amp hour Samsung battery with a range of up to 90 miles or 145 kilometers. Cadence sensor, front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, 7-speed shifter, hydraulic suspension fork, 26-inch by 4-inch tires, headlight, taillight, and weighs 75 pounds or 34 kilograms. Additional specs can be found in the description section below. This is the box that it came in. It's about 6 feet long by 1.5 feet deep and 3 feet high. It was difficult to get through to my garage and through my front door. Shout out to the FedEx drivers that constantly deliver these large e-bikes to my porch. I'm gonna get this open. For the interest of time, I'm gonna take it out and put it on the ground. This is everything outside of the box. Inside this box, we have the pedals. There is the charger, tools, and then the user manual. This is the user manual. I'm just going to flip through the pages quickly, and you can pause at any time to see this in detail. These are the contents, the overview of the bike. This is the assembly instructions, removing the packaging, putting on the handlebar into the stem, installing the front wheel, putting the front fender and headlight, mounting the seat, installing the pedals. This is the battery care, how to store your battery, how to unlock the battery. These are the different parts of the handlebar. We'll go over those in a second. This is the display. The error codes, the settings, we'll go over those in a second as well. But you can pause on this page at any time. Settings continued up to 20. The operation of the controls, different settings, warnings, more warnings, maintenance, more maintenance, troubleshooting, warranty, what's covered, what's not covered, and that's it. Let's install the handlebar. There's 4 bolts that hold this bracket in place. I'm going to take all of them off. With the display facing towards the bike and with the handlebars facing forward, we're going to put this in place. There's these indicators. We want to get this centered. Putting this bracket back on. Let's get these bolts screwed in. I like to tighten them around 80%. That way I can still adjust the angle. Looking over here, we want to make sure that the line is centered in the middle. While sitting on the bike, you can adjust this angle to what's most comfortable for you. Once you have that desired position, then you can tighten all of these. Next, we'll install the front wheel. Taking a look at the front wheel, there's this axle, and then there's this washer with a hook, and then a bolt. You can remove it all the way, or you can just loosen these 2 bolts where this washer piece can go as far as it can. You want to make sure that the disc is on the side that faces the caliper. So lifting the bike up, take off this protector. Oftentimes there's a piece of plastic protecting the brake pads that you need to remove. This is the trickiest part. We're going to feed the disc in between the brake pads and the caliper while resting the fork on this. Feed the disc through. and then we got it hooked. We're gonna have this washer with the hook facing downwards. And then just hand tighten it. Do the same on the other side. And then we'll take our wrench and tighten it. You want to make sure that the axle is even on both sides. You can bounce the fork up and down and then tighten this as much as you can. It's a good idea to wear gloves so your finger doesn't accidentally slip and you cut yourself on the disc. It's tight. Lifting up the front fork, you can spin the wheel and you can hear that the disc is rubbing. The easiest thing to do is to loosen these two bolts, press the brake lever, and then tighten it again, so when you release it, it should be centered on the disc. And if it doesn't work, loosen these two bolts, look at it over here, and then move the caliper such that the disc is centered. I'm loosening these two bolts holding the caliper in place so that it moves freely. I'm going to press and hold the brake lever while tightening these back up. And then when I release the brake lever, the disc should be centered. And it's pretty close. I'm going to fine tune it by loosening the top one and looking in this direction. And it's not rubbing anymore. You can adjust the rear brakes doing the same method. The instructions say to put the headlight in first with the bolt, but I found it easier to do this first because of the way that this piece of metal is angled. So I used an Allen key to take this off, and now that I have this loose, I am able to fish this back in at the proper angle, and then I can tighten it back on. Then you can do the same thing on the other side. Next, you'll take this bolt, washer, and nut assembly. This was just floating around in the shipping box. We're going to take the bolt and washer and feed it through this headlight bracket through the fork, and then feed this bracket on the fender back here, and then put this nut on the back. And I'm trying to keep this fender bracket as high as I can in order to provide enough clearance from the tire. You'll take your 10mm wrench to hold the back and your Allen key to tighten the front. This is the seat. We'll release this lever, flip this around, and then adjust it to your desired position and retighten it. If it's still too loose like it is right now, we'll reopen it, turn this clockwise, and then close it. We'll take the left pedal for the left side, and for the left side we need to turn it left or counterclockwise to tighten, and then take our wrench to finish tightening it. That's good. Feels a little stiff. The right side is opposite, righty-tighty. Let's take a look at the battery. There's two keys by the handlebar. There's a lock right here. If you put the key in, if you turn it clockwise, nothing happens. Turn it counterclockwise. In order to unlock the battery, there's a latch right here. You can turn it either clockwise or counterclockwise to release the battery. Let's take a look at the battery. It's a Samsung battery, and here's the charging port. Here we have the contacts on the bottom of the battery. Here's a power button. If we press it, it shows that it's yellow. I think that might mean it's partially charged. This is the side, the other side, and the top. Let's slide this back in. And then we'll lock it. There's also this port right here. If we remove this cover, we have access to the battery. if you don't want to take the battery out. Let's plug the charger in, plug this into the wall outlet. On the brick it's red, showing that it's charging. When it's fully charged, it'll turn green. Let's take a look at the handlebar. We have the left grip, this is the front brake, the thumb throttle, the controls. There's up, M, and bottom arrow. It comes with 2 keys. I put one in the battery. This is the display. There's also a headlight and horn button. This is the rear shifter, the rear brake, and then another grip. Let's turn the controller on by pressing and holding M. And notice that the headlight button overrides the headlight setting. If I press and hold the up arrow, it shows that the headlight is on the display, and if I press and hold it again, it turns off, but it doesn't actually do anything. This button overrides it. And this is the horn. Looking at the display, we have the speed, we have the current speed in miles per hour, we have the battery level, the pedal assist number, we have the odometer in miles. If we press M, it changes to trip, the voltage, which is 48 volts, the current, and then the ride time. If we press the up arrow, it changes the pedal assist level up to 5. If we press down, it goes down to 0. Let me just try the thumb throttle. Go to 1. It goes to 12.8 miles per hour. 2 is 17.3. 3 is 22. 4 is 25. And 5 is 28.7 miles per hour. If you press and hold down, it provides the pedestrian walk mode, and this provides 2.4 miles per hour. There's a settings mode. If we press and hold the M and up arrow, it shows the max speed. If we press and hold it again, it shows the average speed, and then it goes back to the current speed. In order to go to the settings, we press and hold the up and down arrow. These are the different settings. You can pause at any time to take a look at them. 1 is the backlit brightness. I'm going to keep it like that. 2 is changing it from miles to kilometers. I'm going to keep it on miles. 3 is the voltage. 4 is the dormancy time. I'm going to keep it at default. 5 is the help file. I'm going to keep it at default. 6 is the wheel diameter. I'm going to keep it at default. 7 is the speed gauge magnet steel number. I'm going to keep it at default. 8 is the speed limit. It's currently set at 100. I'm going to keep it at that. 9 is 0 start. I'm going to keep it at 0. That means I can use the thumb throttle without having to push off. 10 is the drive mode. It says 2 is power drive and electric drive coexistence. I keep it at that. 11 is the help sensitivity setting range. I'll just keep it at default. 12 is the help start intensity. I'll keep it at default. 13 is power magnet steel disc type setting. I'll just keep it at the default. 14 is the controller limit and value set. I'm going to keep it at 20 amps. 15 is the controller low power. I'll just keep it at default. 16 is the odometer 0 setting. I think if you press any key for 5 seconds, it resets it. 17 is auto cruise. So this is to enable cruise control. It's 0 at default. So I'll just keep it like that. 18 is the speed display ratio adjustment range, 50 to 150. Keep it at 100. 19 is the 0 power bit. I'll just keep it at default. And then 20 is 0-2 protocol. I'll just keep it like that. And in order to get out of this, you can press and hold the settings button or just not do anything and it'll go back to that. So I think that's everything. In order to turn it off, you press and hold the M button. Right now I'm going to test the acceleration and max speed in each of the pedal assist levels 0 through 5 while pedaling and then using the throttle only. So just pedaling in pedal assist 0. There is no assist and I don't feel much resistance from the rear hub. There might be like 5 to 10% more resistance than a normal bike. Going to pedal assist 1. Finally felt the motor kick in. It's quite a bit of torque. And we're topping out around 13.1 miles per hour. Pedal assist 2. Motor kicked in. I'm getting 17.9 miles per hour. Pedal assist 3. The motor kicked in. .9, 23.1. I think 23.1 is going to be the max speed. Pedal assist 4. .9. This is pedal assist 5. .7 is the max speed. I noticed that the pedal assist sensor takes a while to register, but once you get it going, it feels very quick. Now I'm going to test the max speed and acceleration using the throttle only. Pedal assist 0, the throttle does not work. Pedal assist 1. We maxed out at 13.4. Pedal assist 2. .3, 18.4, and that's the highest we're gonna get. Pedal assist 3. Topped out around 23. Pedal assist 4. Getting around 23.1, same as before. Pedal assist 5. We're also getting 23.1. So it seems like pedal assist 3 through 5, using the throttle only, we're getting around 23 miles per hour. In order to get anything higher, we actually have to pedal. Looking at the suspension, we have some micro adjustments on the left side. Over here we have a lock by turning it clockwise, and the suspension is now fixed, but it feels like there's about half an inch of play. Unlocking it, that play seems to be gone,
and it feels a lot smoother. I'm going to test the front and rear brakes. I'm going to hit the max speed of 28 miles per hour, or at least attempt to, and then slam on the brakes and see how soon it stops. At this orange cone, I tried to press on the brakes so they wouldn't skid, and they didn't really. So from that orange cone to the front of the tire over there, that's probably around 20 feet. Again, I didn't brake in the brake pads, and the floor is somewhat wet, so the braking power should be better after a while. In terms of hill capability, I'm pretty sure this bike can take the hills no problem, because we have a 7-speed shifter in the rear, and you can always change the gearing so that you can climb hills. Moving on to the review, what I like most about this e-bike is that it can hit 28 miles per hour, and that there are front and rear disc brakes. It also has an adjustable shock where you can lock it or unlock it and adjust the settings. And then the build quality also seems good. The frame looks very nice, and there's a rear rack. Because it has a 750 watt rear motor, it has a good amount of torque, and it feels powerful. It doesn't feel slow at all. Some things I would have liked to have seen: I can't get 28 miles per hour by using just the thumb throttle in pedal assist 3 to 5. I actually have to be pedaling to get that. The front fork, when it's locked, there is like half an inch of play, so you can feel like this little bump. The e-bike is also very large. It's about 6 feet long, and even though it has 26-inch rims, because it has fat tires, it just seems very long. It's also heavy. I think it's 78 pounds, but because of the weight, it also feels very robust. It would be difficult lifting this up a flight of stairs. The box that it came in also was very large. That's just something to note when you get that delivery. If you guys are in the market for an e-bike that has a 750 watt motor that goes 28 miles per hour, then you can check this one out. A link to the product will be in the description section below, along with any discounts that are available. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Feel free to leave questions or comments in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.